Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 19, our first video of the 3-4 patch, and today we'll be playing some Lulu Rumble. And so, as we highlight the cards here, they're not going to have their new and proper updates. Mobalytics hasn't gotten the site completely updated yet, but Rumble did just catch an upgrade. He gets his upgrade ability now off of Mecha-Yordles dealing damage and not just his own damage. And so he gets a little bit easier to upgrade. The easiest way to get Mecha-Yordles is going to be with Scrap Heap. And then if we're going to be playing the discard theme that is kind of tied into using the Mecha-Yordles, then I think the best thing to go about that with is the Flame Chompers, right? The Flame Chompers is the discard to get the unit. The Boom Baboon discards them as well. And then you just continue on the cycle to where if we're out here playing Flame Chompers and supporting it, the best card that you can use for the Flame Chompers is Lulu. And so it does kind of, cycle us back to this Lulu-based Yordles and Arms deck. I think Rumble here is fine. You typically see Fizz played in these style of decks, and the big thing that Fizz brings to the table is you can have Fizz down, you can put a couple of Daring Poros into play with Poro Cannon, and then when you Yordles and Arms, you can get 15 damage worth of Elusives going. And so that's where his power comes in. The thing with Rumble, I think, is kind of twofold. Rumble is just much better on his own. He comes out here, generates a lot of value, gives us things to discard to the baboons. It's just where, if we have a Fizz without a Yordles and Arms, he's not that good. But if we have a Rumble without Yordles and Arms, he's still pretty fantastic. And with the addition of all these Mecha-Yordles, it does give us access to some of them that are pretty good. I'll switch over to the patch notes real quick. They did just upgrade some of them, but Trumpet Decker plays quite well in these go wide strategies. You can give everything +1/+1 as opposed to being stuck with having to use Yordle captains or stuck finding your Yordles and Arms. The big boys did get a little bit bigger, with the Dunehopper mech being a pretty sizable body. The Fury Horn Crasher is one of the cheaper ones that's now a little bit stronger. And then the ones that didn't catch the upgrades, but the one I'm kind of interested with here in terms of Lulu and all the Flame Chompers, is the 2-cost one that supports and gives Spell Shield and +2/+2. So it gives us another angle, to having useful Flame Chompers to where we didn't necessarily have them in the past. And so, it's fairly similar to our Yordles and Arms deck that we were playing previously. We do have the Rumbles here. The what is the other one? The Scrap Heaps come in. We took out the Fizzes. We took out the Fairy Generator. And this is kind of, a fairly similar upgrade to there. And so before we get too far along, I was interested in building around Rumble. I played a bunch of games today trying to take advantage of Rumble with Overwhelms. That was kind of the old school way to deal with Rumble. You can play Drumble, Raven, Scion. You can discard the Scions to make your Rumble have Overwhelm. It's just unfortunate when he attacks and just gets blocked by a 1/1 and only deals the 1 damage of impact. And so giving him Overwhelm was kind of the way to do it in the past. He's more of a value unit in this style of deck. Getting a bunch of Mecha-Yordles into your hand is still a pretty decent deal. And so not doing things with Riven, not doing things with Overwhelm Shards, no Mites, no Scions today. But I think we'll still be pretty happy with this Rumble. I've played a few practice games with this, and I've been happy with where this is going. And so, let's jump on in. Before we get to battle, we do have to go and turn something premium, and we're almost out in this deck. I looked, we only have the Thermogenic Beam, the Yordles and Arms, and the Treasured Trash. That's pretty much it. And I'm just going to go with the Yordle and Arms for our upgrade today. I feel like we're going to be using this a bit over the next few weeks, and so got to be a pretty choice premium for all of our opponents to get upset at. And cool. Our deck is ready to go. Our premiums are here. Let's dive on into battle. So yeah, it's an interesting week. I thought that the patch notes and updates were fantastic. I worry a bit to a degree of the level of balancing that the people are willing to do. If you see something like Magic, they just never did it. Things with Hearthstone, they used to never do it, but I think they since in the post Ben Brode days, they got more and more into making patch note updates. Here, I want to keep the Scrap Heap. It's good to discard the Bomber Twins. I only want one of these removals, though. Against Caitlyn Swain, I think I'll hang on to the Beam. But it's a tough balance, right, between not doing enough, like I felt like they did with Magic and Hearthstone, And then with Teamfight Tactics, they do like tons and tons of updates, and it just like super shakes up the meta every time that they go out there and make the changes. And I felt like Riot hit kind of like a nice balance point in the middle where they did a lot. You know, it's like you see something like what's his name? You see like Nar just take like a little bit of a hit to his attack, and that'd be the end of it. But you know, there were like multiple changes throughout the entirety of Bandle City, and so it's not, you know, one big change to him, but the changes all across the board should be pretty impactful. But all right, back to the game here. I'm wanting to definitely get this Rumble down next turn. I was leading with the Bomber Twins so that we could have Rumble plus Mystic Shot, and I think we just have to be like okay with this board. He's going to get the good attack with the House Spider. We'll take it. I'm not quite ready to spend the removal spell on it. It's like the Bomber Twins are still quite relevant in terms of. Oh man, hang on. Do we want to drop the Rumble here? But the Bomber Twins are still relevant in terms of like blocking fearsomes and taking down 3 health units. I'm kind of leaning towards more just playing the Scrap Heap now. It's like the discard feels like a little bit too heavy. It's like we can go into next turn and like draw some cards and get out of this a little bit, but we definitely need to be getting on board this turn though. This could be okay. Let's Scrap Heap. I'm going to discard the Ancient Prep. Might still want to draw a card with the Preservarium. We hit one of the good ones. The Mecha Forcer is the one I was talking about earlier, having the +2/+2 for your Flame Chompers. That would have been quite nice here, but I'm going to go with the Smash and Dash. The 4/4 should be bigger than anything our opponent can present to us. And then this would represent a Rumble flip on our next attack, right? We do 6 attack with the Smash and Dash. We do 6 with the Rumble, would get him to flip. All right. Well, that's kind of lame, my dude. a little on the lame side, if you will. Caitlin Swain. I was expecting an Ezreal out of there. It's not what opponent is doing. Okay, well, let's get our Lulu going now. If we're going to be able to discard the Flame Chompers next turn, I want to have Lulu on board for these good attacks. Maybe want to go ahead and Mystic Shot this turn, though. So many beams. This dude is a total lame-o. Alright. We want to spend this mana? Probably do. We're just gonna, like... Definitely discarding the Flame Chompers. Ooh, Boom Baboon. Okay. And say it gives us an extra thing to potentially come out and discard here. I think this is going to be our Rumble turn, though. And discard double Flame Chompers, and they'll actually come down. I'm leaning towards discarding the Thermogenic Beam. It is our only answer to a Swain. Maybe we need to hang on to it at this point and just discard the Scrap Heap. Flame Chomper, Scrap Heap. But we're not, like, too close to running out of value, right? We have an extra draw from the Preservarium next turn. We have this Loping Telescope in hand to pick up an additional card next turn. It'll probably just pick up a ridiculous Epic, because that's what it does, but... I think we're still fine, even though we're out here discarding a bunch of cards to Rumble. And he should be pretty good against our opponent here if he's... you know, doing all this damage-based removal. It takes quite a bit of effort to take a Rumble down. The old Loping Telescope. He costs 1 more, but has a point of health. An extra point of health, I should say. This is so strange. I mean, he's playing, like, all of the Ezreal damage-based cards, but not actually playing Ezreal. Kind of weirded out by him not playing Ezreal in this deck. Of course. It's not super upsetting to lose the Flame Chomper since we already have 1 in hand and 1 on the board, but you gotta just like say of course whenever that happens, right? That's that's the way these things always go. Definitely glad we held on to our beam. This is pretty cool, right? I like that they've, if you can't see what I'm talking about, they put those animations in when something's gonna die. You can see how much damage you're gonna deal to your opponent when you get an attack in. So like here we attack with Rumble. You can see it puts this little 6 nugget over top of their health. I think that's all pretty cool and neat. So what are we doing here? How close are we to targeting with Cam 4? We haven't actually done any of this, right? No targeting. But he has the biggest unit out of all of these. I don't think we need hotheads here. Let's just take the stats. And how do we feel about just getting Poros going? I think it's kind of okay. Since they don't really do much.
Nothing's more exciting than an unsolved mystery.
Okay. If we're not going to play the loping telescopes and get them into combat, then there's no reason to advertise that we can't spend this mana. All right. Get them flips. Don't have the Yordles in hand, but our future rumbles will be flipped should we need that.
Protocol ouch initiated.
Looks like he's about to do something mean to him. Ooh, Mecha-Caster looks good. Let's pick up all these stats where we can. Well, it's going to take 2.5 spells to deal with Rumble. That's pretty decent. He's going to get hit by a Scorched Earth or get hit by a Ravenous Flock or something here. And this the Mecha-Caster is going to be incredibly relevant next turn to boost all of our little bros. We can get a full board. Let's just prevent this damage. So it's like next turn we're most certainly going to play Yordles in arms. I don't want to like exactly advertise that we have this Mecha-Caster in hand. So let's lead with the Daring Poros. We'll add the Mecha-Caster at the end of the turn. Then we can be ready with Yordles in arms next turn. See if he's got that Thermogenic Beam number 3 here to take the Mecha-Caster down. Be a little unfortunate if they do, but not the end of the day. Sure. So, I mean, we can add Cam 4 if we want. Just get another dude on board. That's lame. And he got to draw a card? He got the Sandseer off of that? Jesus. Talk about getting some value. Hey, we'll just draw Rumble, though. Why not? Why not? All right, there's all the stats. Okay. It's a 1 damage Tri-Beam. He just wants a blocker. All right. Here comes the squad bringing that neg 29 at you. But no, as he pulls these units forward, you can see they have these like blue shattered looking animations on top of them to indicate that the unit's going to die if nothing happens. I always thought that the Oracle's Eye was enough, but I do like that they kind of bring this forward. And then for all those people out there that are like, card games as esports and stuff, this should like really help with the casters and help with the visualizations in terms of, if you're watching, a competitive game of Runeterra, as you're watching my videos here, you can see that, the upcoming ability that's about to happen and to make the visuals a little easier for the viewer. I dig it. How bad is this? You just got to throw stats in front of the Leviathan.
Those poor things are so close to fame.
All right, so he at least doesn't get the stuns right off the bat with this Swain out of his hand, but gotta be ready with this other Yordle in arms. So it's like, well, Yordle in arms, he'll get to play the Swain. He may get to stun something, but he only has 1 card now, so we don't have to worry about it a ton. So the downside here, okay, I was gonna say the downside here is if he like adds a unit and has a stun in hand, we can't lethal. And so I was looking to thermogenic beam something before we attacked, and we should have been okay at that point. But cool. One and oh, doing it with the Yordles. Cool. That reminds me, man. I saw in the notes about the Yordles in arms and Riot's note on it. I thought that was fine. Apparently, Reddit disagrees. Riot's not allowed to be on vacation, and all of the masters in the general chat of LOR knew how broken Yordles in arms was a month ago, and they've been, mastering their way through silver, just bitching about Yordles in arms over and over again. It's like, y'all are fucking absurd. Like, this is exactly why Riot doesn't come out and talk on social media. It's because they have these dipshits out here just immediately seeing, oh, Yordles in arms didn't get nerfed and Riot took a vacation like they don't fucking deserve it. And it's just like, you all are absurd. Just get over it. Get over it. Like, yes, there's a card that it might be a little bit too powerful in the format. I can't remember the last time we even played against Yordles in arms. And like the past 2 weeks of games, maybe played against it like twice. I guess that warrants like supreme amounts of bitching, but I can't. Stuff blows my mind. Okay, so we didn't play the Urchin. I didn't really have anything to discard, so I didn't feel the need to get it down that quickly. Now that we've picked up like the perfect Flame Chompers here, I'm going to go ahead and discard it to the scrap heap. See if we don't pick up a really juicy 2. We don't. A little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. And so when I'm summoned or round start, give me O2 for each card you discarded last turn, then shuffle. And so we can discard 2 if we want. I don't think I'm super into it, though. We can get Lulu going. We can play the spinner this turn. Get Lulu going next turn. Just not a lot going on here. Okay. We can maybe shut down an attack from him. He said there's like really awkward tokens draw. And so it's like if he plays a 1 health or a 2 health unit and we get to pokey stick it or beam it, he may not get to attack with his Diaz here. This Azir's leveling up though. He's seen the landmark hit the board, giving the +1. That's kind of lame. I don't think I want to pokey stick any of this stuff. Just 1 damage. And we should be regrowing the Flame Chompers next turn. Nothing a good giggle can't fix. That's my life saying, my motto, if you will. All right, it's a little scary now. If he has like a shaped stone and gets to take down our Lulu, it's kind of a problem. I guess we could get excited if we had to. Okay, does have the shaped stone. This is tough. It's like the beam is like pretty slow, but it's our only answer to Azir. I think we can deal without having it. Bit of an unfortunate turn, but we knew we were potentially getting into trouble with the Lulu block. Okay. Can pokey stick deal with this if we want. Oh, well, let's deal with Irelia. I don't think there's well, he's gonna duet. If he duets, then we might want to pokey stick this Treasure Seeker so he doesn't get the second attack. I think that's fine. He's gonna be out of mana now. Okay, takes us to 17. I'm kind of leaning towards adding the Urchin here. The Bomber Twins are just going to be too slow. Rumble. Interesting. We don't really need to be giving him Spell Shield. We don't have to do the full discards here. But if we want to get on board, what if we might want to play the Bomber Twins though. think this is okay. Like, we're gonna get good hooks out of the Lulu. It's tough for him to add like 2 good blocking units here. It's like he can add Waking Sands, but it's tough for him to really get a board presence. And I do want the quick attack and the impact. So maybe we hang on to the telescope this turn. Like, Salty Spinner seems like he's going to be a little bit too slow. And if he's like under aggressive this turn, right, if the only play he makes is the Waking Sands, we can't just hook it with the Flame Chompers and not boost with Lulu, right? We can boost the Zonite Urchin with Lulu and just get in more damage.
Baby, don't fail me now.
Am I going to regret this not giving him Spell Shield? Oh no, is he going to get Bounce Spelled? I was just thinking in terms of Sherima and not being able to really interact with Rumble. That's not ideal. Not ideal. Do we actually want to Lulu buff this Bomber Twin so it can block a 1/1 next turn? We lose out on a point of damage this way. I think I like that. Oh, poor Rumble. You owe us quite a bit of work here, Loping Telescope. We didn't take the Spell Shield, and now we're getting punished for it. But, I mean, the Rumble is kind of interesting against all these Diazes in that, you know, if he attacks us a bunch over and over again, we do get to block with Rumble and load up on this attack damage. There is a non-zero chance that we want to Flame Spit the Rumble here so he can level up quicker. I don't think it's going to happen, but... You duets, set flip Irelia? No. It's going to be one short. Oh, no, when she attacks, she'll get the flip. All right. Any of this stuff ever going to happen? Well, we might attack and then play the Mega T at the end of the day. Okay. How much is this? Just like 8 damage? We'll take it and open. 8 fall to 7? Sure. You can answer all the memes. When have we ever played Mini T? This is it. This is the Mini T's time to be played. And Mystic Shot was a pretty choice draw here. Should be able to finish this one up with that.
Your rhythm's off.
Game says neg 14 coming at you. GG, my dude. GG. Taking it to 2-0. The biggest of wins. Giving me all the LPs. Ooh, there we go. And so yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know what I expect out of Riot, or not out of Riot, out of Reddit. It's I'm sure it's just a small minority of the people that feel that way in terms of the new patch coming out and saying, Riot, you didn't do enough. My only like hope with how they do it is some consistency. It's like I'm completely fine with them, you know, taking the time to kind of figure out what they want to do with everything. That's still what I call the World of Warcraft problem. Is, you know, you can't release an MMO these days that doesn't have crafting and PvP and arena and raids and dungeons and all of the, you know, the standard quest type stuff, and it has to have all the factions and this and that, because Riot, you know, World of Warcraft had it, and that's why I play World of Warcraft. And so, like, it's very tough, you know, to please everybody when your game is, you know, a year and a half, 2 years old, in terms of getting all of the features in and figuring out what works and what doesn't, and with Riot figuring out that the path of champions is the way that they want a lot of the things to be going, and it's just you gotta kind of let the growing pains happen, and my only like hope and dream is that they kind of figure out where their consistency is going to be, and so in terms of are they going to stick to this cadence of doing one patch a month and then having new cards come out the next 2 months, or how are they going to handle all of the releases and all of that? And so here with this, I'm pretty tempted just to pick up this 4/4. It should be tough for them to deal with it. We do have the +2/+2 unit for our flame chompers, but I don't think it's going to hit anything. And so let's add in the smash and dash. But no, it's tough. Like I get what Riot's idea was with taking I think they essentially said they're releasing 2 sets a year, but then they're breaking the sets up into 3 releases, and so one set becomes 3. It's because there's so much hype around the new card release that they're trying to get that to come up whenever you can. Like if you go over to the Magic subreddit, it's like every week there's a new release, and so it's like always in the news. The hype is always kind of building up. I think Magic has gone like too far, and they have too many releases. Like I still haven't like really gathered how I feel in terms of this set of cards is not for me. But every time I venture over to the Magic subreddit, there's always new card releases happening, and that's the idea behind breaking up the sets. Is you release a set in January. Where is your hype in May? You've gone 4 and 5 months without any new card releases. They have to have something to come in and build it up, and that is something I guess a lot of people don't understand or appreciate. And I get that it's kind of awkward that we're going to be able to get a full board. Like, we want to get a full board. I want to have a full Yordles and Arms on our next attack. We currently only have 2 units. I think we're going to lose 2. We can play Preservarium. And so I'm all for it, in terms of spreading the releases out and keeping that hype built up. It's a big advertisement for the game, and saying, hey, here's our offerings. Come play our game. Okay, interesting. Opponent just passes to us. They do go into next turn and have the Ruination mana, and so I want to be in a space to where we can open attack onto them. I think we just play Rumble here, discard the Flame Chompers, and then that'll represent a lethal next turn. So we want the Flame Chompers to go, probably want the Beam to go. Well, let's do this. Let's lead with the Urchin. And then we can follow up with Rumble. Don't really want to discard the Rumble. What's your play? Avalanche? Okay. So that takes... I think this is still okay to drop the Rumble. It's like I want to deal with this Lysandra beforehand, though. But I don't want to give up the Mystic Shot. I want to have the Mystic Shot to go face with. So let's add Bomber Twins. That'll give us a landmark. He just kind of self-replaces. We'll Thermogenic Beam the Lysandra. And then see where we stand in terms of... Okay, we're not going to lethal next turn. That's fine. But Rumble should be kind of a pain for this deck. Having the spell shields is kind of tough for them to deal with. We want to discard the physical Rumble now, though. He flips into the spell, the +2 attack plus impact. Like, I think these are the easy 2, the Peak and the Beam. It's... Where are we at next turn with 7 mana? It's like I was trying to see if we could Treasured Trash next turn, play 3 units and then have the Yordles and Arms the follow-up turn. We can't treasure trash. Yeah, we'll have 7 mana. But we're going to be a mana short of playing treasure trash next turn if we drop Rumble.
Guess I'll just keep the engine running.
I'm just going to discard the Yordle and Arms here. Let's fix this. Yordle and Arms, Rumble, Beam. Then I still want to play the Star-Tipped Peak this turn, and then we can follow up with the Treasured Trash 2 turns from now. I think that's where it's at. Sucks to discard Rumble, right? It's tough to have, like, for opponent to have an answer for this one, right? He's probably going to need like 3 cards to do it, but uh-oh. Here's the real problem. I didn't consider a Trundle coming down. We have the Mystic Shot, but it's not ideal. They look angry. This might be a problem. And say if he blocks with Rumble, he must not have a Troll Chant in his hand. Okay. Hey, we just immediately redraw Rumble. I don't think that's what I really wanted, but it makes me feel a little safer. If he's gonna, oh man, he's gonna do it, isn't he? He's gonna spend all turn trying to take our Rumble down. Then we're just gonna replay him. Oh, it's gonna be nice. Oh, he's not gonna try and take him down this turn. That's lame, dude. That's lame. So if we play the Treasured Trash, we'll get to draw 6 cards. I was hoping to have a little bit more. I assumed that we were going to be playing a card on our last turn, and we didn't. And so, slightly awkward. I think if he, like, plays the Vengeance on Rumble this turn, like, does it now, I'd be kind of okay with it. But... And then we do have 5 points of burn in hand. So we can't, like, completely get through this board. We can impact for 1 with Rumble, 2 with the Flame Thing. Then nothing's going to be unblocked, though, but we might be able to hit, like, the Charger in for damage. Let's just draw 5. I roll it, baby. Give me something expensive in here. That didn't look like a very good one. I can already tell. I can already tell that was not a good one. Like, this guy's okay. He's got Scout and stuff. Wings in the Wave. The Priestess after we played spells. Like, this is not ideal. That stupid card. Okay. He doesn't have, like, lethal presented for us, but that's certainly annoying. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't want to just give one of these cards up, but I mean, we can get a free predict, I guess. I'm leaning towards just taking the burn spell. Okay. Uh-oh. He's indicating the GG. Does he have an atrocity? Is that how they get the kill with this? Need some of them. Need some of them stuns. Where's them wallops at? Okay, so he's going to ace our board. That's not the end of the world. 8, 12? Okay. We want the second impact? Maybe. Let's start with the messenger. More burn? Oh, we got to get this dumbass Lysandra off the board, though. F. F. That's not awesome, him just having burn spells, or canceling our burn spells. Does that stop our impacts too? Oh, Jesus. It was supposed to go so much better than that.
Let's turn up the heat.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's like we got the lethal. We just got to deal with this Lysandra. Not sure how we do that. So much burn. That's insane. This is deal 1. We only get 1 impact in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck. It's just no reason to pokey stick face, right? It doesn't do anything. Sure.
Stinging cold.
Working as intended.
Alright. We could have probably done that one a little differently. That was that was tough. I mean, like I don't like leaning on Trash for Treasure because it's like feels like every time we play Trash for Treasure, like even when it's for like 8 cards, we'll hit like 1, 6, and then everything else will cost like 2 and 3 mana. But it was like we just had a handful of burn, and it made it kind of awkward to come out and do stuff. So weird. Is this Malphite? I haven't seen Malphite in years. Is that Infernal Malphite? Skinning it up, my dude. I like it. I like what you're about. So let's see here. I can get rid of the Poro Cannon, get rid of the Get Excited. Kind of tempted to get rid of Bomber Twins, but we should probably hang on to the 2-drop. Got a little bit of interactivity there. What up, Chip? It's been so long since we've got to hang out, Chip. It's been so long. Okay. I can do landmarks too. I'm on it. Not really excited about attacking into the Endless Devout. He doesn't have like Talia next turn. It'd be 2 turns for Talia. But we're not really getting an advantage. Like we're attacking and he's just the one getting the advantage here. Let's pass on that. Find something to do eventually, right? That has to happen eventually. Star Spring, nice. Alright, so we can empty out the board, but this is still not awesome. He can do the Talia stuff next turn. So, we're going to play Rumble next turn. We're going to discard the Flame Chompers, the Star Spring, and 1 other card. Do we want to like get the mana going? It's like I kind of want to play Rockfall Path now. Right? So, opponent next turn plays Talia. Talia copies the Sarcophagus, and then she's going to be his only unit on board, and so the Rockfall Path will take her down. Let's lead with the Urchin, though. Nice addition in Flame Chompers. And our last discard, I think we can get rid of the Get Excited. We're pretty far away from burning this guy out. But I'm pretty confident this is a Talia turn. Right, he just doesn't want to play Talia because she's going to get boomed by the path. Alright, then we'll be ready for Yordles in Arms next turn. What do we got? Kato the Arm's kind of interesting. So's the Serpent. The Serpent is always pretty strong when you have access to Yordles in Arms. But if we want to play Kato the Arm and the Yordles in Arms next turn, we will have the mana to do it. Okay. We'd have to just bank now and then play him next turn. Okay. That's how you get the overwhelm onto your Rumble, right? You just drop Kato. Okay. Not amped about losing a unit here. Minus 15. Okay. I like the danger. Bring it to me. Bring it on. Gato time. Alright. Chances. Opponent does something lame. I'm feeling like it's pretty high. Chances are high. This is going to be not cool. He's going to play that new Targon stun or something. Desert Duel. What? Fucking lame. Tally is still going to be at 3? She only takes... Oh, this is stupid. Okay. Told you. People out here not having fun. So where do we stand in terms of Yordles and arms? I think we still have to play it, right? He's going to... It at least forces him into like a lot of combats here. Damn. So he can get a kill onto the Urchin, but he has to block at least 2 of our units, right? So, say, leaves 1 sarcophagus at the end of the day. Might be manageable. Okay.
Come on, pal. I'm wasting fuel here.
Yeah, pal, I'm wasting fuel. Quit being a lame-o. Into quicksand to protect Italia. Okay, we can still like block her next turn and not die to her ability, right? Rumble's going to be flipped. Spell Shield will eat 1 of the pings, and so her stuff doesn't necessarily kill us. We do die to like absolvers and stuff, but options are there. Yeah. These aren't what we wanted. Needed a big epic. That is not the epic we were looking for. Alright, how's that do? It says neg 3. Alright. Ah, brutal. We lost 1 too many units there. Not used to this this Shurima and Targon interactivity. Targon also got that double stun. I feel like it serves a role. I was glad to see a lot of that come out of the patch notes to where that was, you know, kind of wild to me that Riot just threw out the new cards. You know, they put those 3 new cards into the game. Just kind of said, you know, we realize there's some problems and some people need some stuff. Here you go. I thought that was pretty good. And I also liked that they called out that, you know, say like with the Shurima card that we just got played on us there, that, you know, they're able to say, hey, you know, we realize and understand that these cards are, you know, kind of classing things into letting every faction do everything. But, you know, this is a Shurima thing. It's kind of on theme with the shrinkage. And then it also, it you know, lets Shurima come out and interact, having some kind of on-theme stuff, while not being, you know, overly better than the factions that are good at starting combats. Like I thought it was pretty reasonable having a shrinking fight slow spell. So glad to see that come about, as opposed to Vandal City that are just good at everything. But no, I thought it was a great patch. All right, slightly awkward hand here. Let's see what opponent brings. If they drop a Misfortune, we're just going to Thermogenic beam her, but we can lead with like a Scrap Heap. Oh, that's dangerous. If we want to be purely mana efficient, we can just play Scrap Heap. But if he has a Ranger's Resolve to counter our Thermogenic Beam, then that would be abysmal. And the only things that new with this matchup are the sharp side only gives +1 attack now. I think that's fair. Just every Demacia deck we were playing was packing 3 sharp sights, and most of them were packing multiple copies of the dude, the plus the 3/4/4 Demacia generator. Glad to see him go back to 3/3 as well. Here, I kind of want the Yordle Ranger. We're hurting for stuff to do, and he doesn't like help immediately, but I think this is fine. There's the Misfortune.
but not that good.
Okay, I'm fine with this. The Telescope doesn't just get aced by Misfortune now, so I feel a little bit safer with that.
Anything else?
Alright, then we'll be attacking after this. Just hit with the Boom Baboon. It seems like he's got, you know, a sharp sight in tow, was trying to protect his Misfortune. Now that he sees us drop below 2, he doesn't have too much reason to get her into combat. This is sequencing out as kind of a disaster.
Always forward.
Probably should have just allowed them to pass last turn. Right, playing all these 1 health units into Misfortunes. Fairly bad. Get on board with the Von Mech. He's just so small. I want to play the Fury Horn. It feels like opponent will probably play more units before they attack again. And this gives us some option to try and take down this Misfortune Light. This is just going to get sharp-sighted now, though. Sure, same thing. Alright. We just fell too far behind in that. That was just way too awkward. Opponent boomed us real good there. But that's one of the things I'm curious to see how it plays out now and how things kind of rotate. Like, one of the things I was meaning to talk about today is as we see, like, Conchologist shrink in health to 1, and the addition of all of these AoE type cards, and really kind of finding the space to where 1 health units are going to be relevant. And so I'm curious to see what the meta does as to where, you know, Bandle City being really good at getting all these 1 health units on the board, but there's a lot more ways to deal with the smaller units now. And if that pushes people up into playing more 2 health units into more of like a mid-rangey kind of meta, I'm interested in seeing what happens. But our first Sun Disc on the day, here it comes. I'm ready for it. Really need a discard card. If we had a Yordle generator or a 1-cost cycler, this would be pretty powerful. All right, we can use Rumble on our turn 4 to get the Flame Chompers down.
They've never seen a contraption like this before.
Ripper's Bay. Nice. It's the easy description of Ripper's Bay. What I always wanted.
You need not follow, but you will witness.
All right, here comes the squad.
Here comes a new challenger.
Look at that. We remembered. We remembered that Shurima can interact with this Rumble. Maybe we give him Spell Shield.
Would you look at this place?
Whoa, Disney.
Okay. Still a chance we lose our Lulu this turn. but it's not horrible if we do. Hourglass, absolutely. So we get super far ahead on board. Didn't get any of the rumble damage this turn, but otherwise got pretty far ahead. There, we can play the Loping Telescope. This is another one of these spaces as to where he's going to want to kill our unit with a hook with the Endless Devout. But interesting, do we ever play the Reckoning? Like, what if, like, I'm just envisioning this world where we put Flame Chompers onto Lulu and then play the Reckoning. It sounds kind of cool, but I don't think we'll do it. Let's just take the Trickster.
We share the water's fortunes.
Are you ready? Let's take it for a spin.
Arise!
We can take it. Maybe.
Okay. And then we were never lethal this turn, right? So I think we can get on board a little bit more. Let's play the Trickster. Do we ever want to play Obelisk of Power? Probably not. We'll just discard that to something.
All of this is ours.
Shurima is sand and sky.
Uh-oh. That Sun Disc. Minus 10. Minus 10 on the disc, please. That looks pretty good, right? We get a hook with the Flame Chompers. Probably just want to hook in the Azir, right? I mean, we could take down Azir if we play... Well, that has to sequence just right. He has to put his blocks out, and then we can Flame Spitter after. If we Flame Spitter beforehand, he's going to get upgraded by Lulu and still just be a 4/4. So it takes him to 7. Not going to lethal with the Flame Spitter, so I like this. Let's try and take Azir down. Get an impact damage in that way as well. Alright. It's just, do we just skip playing units so he can't use the Devout? I don't think so. I don't think that's where we stand. And still good to add the Telescope. See what we hit. Something cool, I'm sure. Starlit Epiphany. We do have a Celestial Ally. Do we just switch to Invokes? Kind of dig it. Maybe we get one of those giant Invokes next turn.
Worries fall from us like water.
Let's take the Moon Silver. It's going to give us our most options for victory next turn. I guess there's no question of what we're drawing. I was sitting here thinking, like, what are we going to draw to make this any different? So I thought we were just going to be at infinite mana. So we're like one short of playing the Scourge, which is pretty awkward. We can still just like open attack here, but I was expecting a lot more out of this turn. Are we just going to be 1 damage short because we didn't play an elusive last turn? Right, we've got 1 from Rumble, 1 from the impact on our guy here to the left, and then 3 from... Fuck. Cosmic Inspiration's a different story, though. Okay. Don't tell me I don't have enough mana. I mathed that one real hard. I knew we would have enough. I knew we could do it. Alright. Grow, team, grow. There's no way to kill our elusive, is there? Rite of negation. F. Okay. Lame. Double lame. Pretty sure this dude has no idea how to have fun. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
You should watch this.
Okay.
Good, you go.
Protocol ouch. Initiated. Base smashing levels. Maximum.
All right, ready to juice up our flame chompers with the Mecha-Forcer. Looks good. Looks good.
Bask in the sunlight.
What's his other champion? Xerath? You gonna Sun Discus this turn? Take the Trickster, get the cheap elusive on board. I'm gonna lead with the Mecha-Forcer. Like, we might have to Fallen Comet something. Not with an Azir.
Lives forever. Remember this day.
Let's hear it.
The order is given.
Bringing a lot of heat, my dude.
Personal space invaded.
No kidding.
Where does that get us? To 9? That feels safe. Probably had like a free block in here. We're probably going to overwrite something. Could have done those mathematics a little bit closer. Looks like we should have thrown the Zonite Urchin in front of the 5/4, but I think we'll be okay. That's the top-notch plays that get you right into Masters. Bust, how do you do it? How do you get so far with making such bad plays? I'll tell you why. That one involved math. Counting is not my strong suit. We don't count very good out here. All right, back to even. Let's get this updated. 3 and 3, ready to go. All right, 2 to go. Is the Sivir Leona with Targon? Okay. Get your deck list on here. You gonna show us a little taste here? Is this how we want to go about this? It's like I want to. This is one of these spaces to where it's like I really want to be finding flame chompers, but I guess kind of like the Bomber Twins is very similar. Well, not completely similar, just in terms of we have free cards to discard to some of this stuff, but it's not putting something on board. All right. Oh, Flame Chompers would be so sick now. There it is, my dude. My dude, way to show up when asked. We appreciate your efforts.
Never seen a contraption like this before.
I think we want to take the trade here. It's like we're going to play Lulu next turn. And if he has 2 units on board, there's a decent chance he can take her down. So we can add her now, then we can burst a unit into play. Man, he gets to play a unit that trades with our Flame Chompers. F. Must be nice, my dude. Must be nice. So what are we taking here? Like, next turn we're looking to play Rumble, right? And so then if we're going to play Rumble, the following turn, we were either just going to open, in which case I just want my biggest unit, or I think I want to take the Geode Mecha-Forcer here, and so we could potentially come in and protect our Lulu if we want. I think this is okay. It's just like we need to get another unit to make Lulu a little bit more relevant, right? If we're going to attack Mecha-Forcer into Lulu, into something, into Rumble, right? We need a little something in there for that extra card. Are we okay to discard all this stuff? We can discard Lulu, that's fine. Well, she's going to get quick attack challenge, let's be real. That's tough.
Business as usual.
Mean things you're doing to us, Sivir. I think I just want to get more Yordles down, but really need some stuff to discard. Alright. I think we can give up on this Mecha Forcer at this point. Well, Lulu's just not doing anything, right? We'll probably end up discarding it to the scrap heap anyways. Maybe we should have hung on to that Preservarium there. This feels so bad discarding real cards to Rumble. Alright, well, the treasured trash will carry some weight. That's gonna be able to come down on our next attack token. Ew. I don't like getting these spell shield pops onto Rumble. Dude, bring in the heat. Oh, dead draw. We just can't play the beam. I guess we can discard it to scrap heap to put another unit on the board, but we have to have 3 mana at the end of this turn, right? We really need something to go right with this treasured trash. But if he doesn't hit here and we get a Mecha-Yordle on board, we can flip our Rumble this turn. So it needs to cost 5 or less, whatever we take. Just take the biggest one. Say, what up, Sivir? I'm ready to block. That's probably a little greedy to throw the Dune Hopper in front of Sivir, but might be up for it. Maybe. Oh, come on. Lamos, dude. Lamos. Take us to 10. Okay. I don't really want to block this 5 attack unit. It's too easy to kill with the Shape Stone or whatever combat trick you want to use. So we'll just take the hit on that one. And then we're gonna hit something nice on this treasured trash, right? Right? One time, we deserve it. We deserve it. Draw 9. Let's go. Why is this dude pausing? He's definitely going to do something lame. Alright, costs. Station Archivist is cheap. The Rainbow Fish is kind of interesting. Sharp Sight in here. Legion General, not going to do anything. God, these cards are so cheap. Look at this. Normally, like, I think Sap Magic is like a 1, a 1, a 1. It's a 5, 2, 2, 4, and 3. Just like so cheap. So we can get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we going to be 1 short? Do we have a way to get +1 damage out of these? Not seeing it. Oh, Sharp Sight. That's how we do it. So we can Rainbow Fish. Oh, the Mecha Forcer will impact as well. Is that it? Is that all we needed? Game says neg 6, but if we're going to be real, it's like 10. Yeah, I think we should be able to get it off of the Dune Hopper mech. Neg 1. Says, uh-oh. Bust did shit. He's only got 1 card, and our dude has Spell Shield. I don't think he can do it. Nice. Nice. We figured it out. We figured it out. Good job, Gaz. Okay, so no losing record today. We're definitely going to make it to at least 50-50. Sweet. So this has been cool. I've been enjoying this Rumble. This is a sweet one. This is one that like my problem with Rumble these days is he's got like the Mecha-Yordles just don't exist, right? There's only like a handful of the cards, and I feel like the only Mecha-Yordle card worth playing is the Scrap Heap, and so maybe at some point in the future he'll be a little bit more relevant, but I don't feel like he's quite there just yet. Here up against Nightfall, like we should probably hang on to one of these removal spells, but I think we need to find a Boom Baboon type card. There he is. What up, my dude? Oh. See if we can't find that Scrap Heap to make this curve work out all nicely.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle fly.
Discarding Star Shaping. What are we running into? What up, Rumble?
Well, this isn't the blade.
Alright, I'm ready for it. Let's get into battle. If he has some way to kill Lulu, it's fine. I don't suspect we're going to see too much here, but like I think he wants to save the Serpent for next turn to take down the 3-1, but we don't have to worry about like Pale Cascades or whatever taking her down. All the moon weapons cost 2 now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What you got? Rando 1-4? Sure. So, we want to Flame Chomp. Next turn, we can play one Zonite Urchin, so I want to hang on to one of those before we Yordle in arms. And then we can save the Telescope for the turn after. But we're going to lose the Boom Baboon this turn. Otherwise, I think we just take this damage. I can't imagine they attack with their Felios, though. It's a pretty risky attack. Okay, I was going to say, did we play enough factions to get this Yordles in arms going? We did. We did. I guess the new question will be is, like, do we even want to play it on this board? We'll get to ace everything, but we aren't that close to a lethal. Sure. Yeah, we're going to lose too many units this turn. I got to remember what ways those moon weapons phase. I guess a double stun would have been kind of equally terrible. But yeah, we're not going to want to Yordles in arms this turn anymore. There we go. There we go. You are my friend, the Serpent. Showing up at just the right time. Oh, fuck. Well, that's not ideal. We had big plans this turn.
Come on, baby.
F. Well, let's at least get his good blocker out of here. We should be able to clear out the board except for Aphelios.
Baby, burn. Adjustments.
Lame. That's all I got to say about that one. But we can't get in this space to where if he kills our Rumble this turn, we can follow up with another Rumble that has all of his abilities back. So it's been like heavy control decky stuff coming out of this. I guess we could have looked at the thing, playing Withering Wail, Withering Mists, Vengeance. Ooh, Atrocities in here. Lots of drains happening out of this. Double stun. What do we got? We might find ourselves wanting to just discard the Rumble. I don't know if he's going to keep passing.
Night flowers upon my blade.
All right, well, that gets us on board. There's the double stun. Sure. But we get to open with Yordles in Arms next turn, and we're only going to have like one unit that dies to a Withering Wail. So that's kind of nice. Ripper's Bay. Let's get that one on board. Such premium. Okay.
We will resist.
In the Vengeance? Sure. Alright, we're pretty far behind now. This Aphelios is going to be flipping pretty soon. We've got... If we pick up some units pretty quick, though, or a way to cycle out this Ripper's Bay, then we might... we might find ourselves able to get a big Yordles in Arms. But... we'll just hang on to all these gems we have in our hand. See if we can't find something good.
I am with you.
All right, well, Oro Cannon's an interesting addition. It's not going to be enough to be lethal, but it does let us get a full board. Calibrum. It's going to be something not fun incoming. Withering Wail. Okay. But that deck is kind of like what I was making mention of a little bit earlier, and finding the space as to where things are going to go. I don't think decks like that are going to be particularly good in the upcoming futures, because the way I suspect that the meta will shape out is, you know, as you look at a deck like we're playing here, where we're having the Zonite Urchin, the Boom Baboon, all having 1 health, all of the Poros out of Poro Cannon having 1 health, and then going over into Vandal City, where you start to see things like Conchologist dropping to 1 health. I know, like, the Telescope just went up to 2, but now it's like tons and tons of stuff already have like 1 health. All of, you know, a bunch of units in Scouts, a lot of 2/1s running around. And so Riot has started to add in things like Rocket Barrage, right? That's going to give us additional ways to deal with a bunch of 1 health units. And so the way I think that the meta will start to kind of shake out is it'll become like a little bit too challenging to just play decks completely full of 1 health units. You're going to have to kind of watch the mixtures of things that you're playing in your Vandal City decks. Like even a deck like this one is to where, you know, if you're playing Fizz in place of Rumble, you just have another 1 health unit running around. And so I think we're going to see kind of like a quick rise of these 1 health smoking cards. And then I think people are just going to kind of like naturally drift to just a little bit meatier units. And then I think a lot of these pings are going to find themselves irrelevant. And so it doesn't feel like one of these things to where it's enough of it to push the format into a cycle, like into the rock, paper, scissors cycle, is to where it's like, oh, I'm playing a ton of 1 health units. And so a bunch of people start just playing decks full of Vile Feasts, and so to beat the Vile Feast decks, people start playing decks with 2 health, and then the 2 health decks get beat up by the 1 health decks, and so there's just like this like cycle that comes about. I don't think it'll land like that. I think this will be more of a space as to where the decks like Vandal City just don't play as many 1 health units. But as you kind of like saw the deck list like we were running into there, where people are playing Withering Wail, Vile Feast, they're playing Unspeakable Horror, and like the 2 damage AoE all in the same deck. Like those are just like kind of set up to smoke these go wide Bandle City decks, which is fine. But I think that that's something that we're going to see over the course of the next week or two, as to where people want to play with the 1 health cards because they're new. They start getting smoked. The people defining the metas are playing the cards that beat them, and then it just kind of evens out a little bit after that. So I think this still worked out kind of nicely, though. Again, like I mentioned somewhere in the video, I feel like this isn't like a deck for now. In terms of things just like really popping off and working, I think the Fizz version is probably a little bit better, but I like the idea of both exploring Rumble and kind of keeping in the back of our heads that, if they print another card like Scrap Heap or another really cheap and effective Mecha-Yordle generator, then this has the ability to really pop off. Because it's like the kind of the space with this now is you don't want to play anything on 1, then on turn 2, you need a Flame Chompers, right? Whether or not that is to Scrap Heap away the Flame Chompers so that you immediately get to play a 2/2 off of your Manifest, or if that is because you simply have Boom Baboon and now you get to play Righteously on curve with the Scrap Heap on 3, getting a Lulu on board as well. That's just kind of what ties it all together. And so I think in terms of Rumble, that's what you're going to be looking for. Otherwise, it's probably a little bit safer to be running the Poro Cannons plus the Fizz. But, if things shake out like we just talked about, as to where people start really loading up on 1 damage AoEs and pings and stuff, then I could definitely see the value in sticking with Rumble and then taking out Poro Cannon. So our only 1 health units are the Urchin and the Boom Baboon. It gives us, a little bit of flexibility there. And at the end of the day, I was, reasonably happy with Rumble. It would be nice if we could find a way to give him Overwhelm. We did run into a few games there to where he just kind of got blocked over and over again, and then the Mecha-Yordle effects weren't that relevant, but I think it was a nice exploration of the deck here. And so I might carry on with this a little bit in the future. I'm not sure what we want our tournament lineups to look like now that the cards have changed. It's kind of like a quick overview there. I don't think the Pantheon changes big. I don't think the Gnar changes big. Scouts a little bit weaker now that the Sharp Sight is weaker, and then the 4 Demacia generator is weaker. But I think things will stick around, fairly similarly to what they were, and we're probably still in a pretty good space to come out there and just pick on Pantheon, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, in terms of this, I was pretty happy with it. The things I was trying earlier in the day before I settled on this list were using Noxus and Rivens and Reforges and stuff, and that was all just way too slow. The power in this is most certainly in the Boom Baboon, and so if you do find yourself out here looking to build around Rumble and do stuff with the Mecha-Yordles, that's what I look to go after. And so Lulu, not a necessity. She is, of course, good here, but this Boom Baboon Flame Chompers package is what really draws me to working well with Rumble. But that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Maybe learned how to Rumble. Well, we'll slot something in there with Rumble. I don't know. I don't have anything for that one. Had a good time watching, and have yourselves a good day. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.